All right, everybody. Tonight it is 10:12 p.m. Now, out of all the things that get said and the things that happen, I just have to say that, well, like everything that they do, from everything that they say to the way that they act, it's always the same thing, even if it means to generate your curiosity to it. It's all stirred to get you to think about fear, to basically get you to feel fear, for you to be in a state of fear from their actions, from the reactions to the stuff that they do. It's all constantly put there for you to be in a constant state of fear. But there's nothing to fear. You ever wonder why they're so desperate for you to be afraid? Why is it such a necessity that they have to keep you in a state of fear? You see, me not being afraid is why I showed people my current location. Why? Because I didn't give a shit. I didn't care. Because I'm not afraid. You think a person who is afraid would do something like that? No. I have no fear. For I've already showed my evidence. I've already stated my case of the situation. In fact, I probably should have left links to that McDonald's incident to that one video. But I'm just not afraid of them. I'm just not. No, no. Why is this? Because I see how much of an effort they are putting into this shit for people to be afraid. There's something a lot more to this reality than we don't know. And we are entering in a state of heightened awareness that is going to push us farther and farther and farther into that state of knowing. But you see, it's not that we're afraid of them, it's just that they're afraid of us with what we can do. For all of us can make change, all of us can push for the right thing. This is why they're getting desperate. This is why they're pushing for the forced vaccination. Why they're trying to spike out fear and confusion. Where there's fear, there's confusion. Where there's confusion, there's control. When people are in a state of fear, they tend to be more easily to be controlled. And we have seen quite a lot of this happen lately. Quite a lot. But you ever wondered why they're so desperate for this? Like everything stems to fear this and fear that. No, you must be afraid of this. You must be afraid of that. People cursing at you. People trying to brand. People do many different things to get you to be in a state of fear. They curse at you, brandish guns in your face, threaten you in all kinds of matter, whether it's verbal threat, physical threat, anything like they could possibly think of. It's just threat this and threat that and this and this that. It's a constant construct that they use, and it's like it's getting to the point to where it's becoming more of an old joke, you know. Now I'm gonna have one of my favorite anime clips playing at the end of this video. All I got to say is Mugen said it best, and let me tell you something. People, is this a good lesson for people who try to incite fear? Look, it's just as he said. If you're gonna do something, do it. It's either you take care of them or they take care of you. There is no in between. The way I see it, as long as I'm still alive, I still dedicate whatever life I have left to live to helping many different target individuals. Now, considering the current circumstances, I did give a warning out though. I did do that, and I meant that, and I'm not joking because people who would discredit, I'm gonna warn you. You may not want to be getting yourself involved because like I'm actually catching factual undisputable evidence that can be in court to basically get these people locked up. I'm just thought I should basically warn you about that because you may not want to be involved. I just actually I think I believe I did a video not too long ago on talking about this, how like I did warn people about certain things when it came to the situation. I did do that. But the thing about it is that, man, like it's everything that they do is always sent trying to be in a desperate attempt to send you in a state of fear. And then today I watched the video uploaded to A Plain Truth for You. And I gotta say that video did not disappoint. Everyone, there is nothing to fear. The whole point of why they're trying to put you in a state of fear is so that they control you. That's it. You have people afraid, they're much more easier to control because they're much more compliant because they're in fear for their safety. But you see, there is a war going on today, everyone. There's a big war going on today. Conservaphobia, an irrational fear that one might have to live one's life without government regulation and benefits. Let me tell you something, man. I would rather live off the damn grid, being able to just go fish for my own damn food, build my own damn home, and just fucking relax. Just live off grid and let that be it. Just enjoy life's wonders as it is while I'm enjoying and basically leveling off my energy with the earth, becoming one with with nature, and actually elevating myself to the higher bit of consciousness that is out there. Now, what do you get when you're around these heretical-based people? When I'm talking about heretical-based people, I'm talking about your whole leftism. But here's the thing, though: it isn't like left and right, the left against the right. That whole thing's a smokescreen. Both sides are supporting one another. If people don't know that now, I'm telling you now, that's just what it is. We're in a situation to where both the left and right are basically against humanity. The government, I don't care what side it is, they're both doing things that are very questionable in nature and in regulations as far as the government laws are concerned, because there's a lot of laws they are breaking, quite a lot, and that's the current situation that we are in. Now, it doesn't mean that there aren't parties out there to basically go against this. It doesn't mean that there are not any media outlets that are against this, but like I'm afraid like your more centralized media, such as Fox News, NBC, ABC, on yada yada yada, so on and so forth. Those major platforms are all basically involved with the beast media. All of them are. So you're not gonna find information there. And honestly, I'm afraid like YouTube, you can't really count on YouTube, even though there's literally a lot of good information on it. There is. Problem is, YouTube's owned by Google, and Google is owned by what? The Beast Media. The same centralized entity that owns all those media stations is the exact same one that owns Google, which owns YouTube. And haven't we seen this constant backlash of censorship going on? It's completely unnecessary, of course. You see, they want people to feel fear because they are in fear of what the people can do. You see how that works? Because the people have the power to basically strip these individuals out of that power, out of that position. And they have no power when people don't fear them. I'm here to tell you all this evening that you have absolutely nothing to be afraid of. But that doesn't mean you should not exercise caution with today's circumstances. By all means, same thing as always goes. Don't ever try to, don't ever accept that vaccination when they try to give that to you. Definitely reject it. Definitely reject any LTIs. Definitely reject any offers that this beast system is trying to offer you to basically join them. That is not where you want to be. Trust me on this situation, or at least trust in your gut to basically say no if they ever try to offer you in any way, shape, or form. Um, Now then, I also need to mention to any. Now I'm gonna every time I ever go out, I'm definitely gonna alert people. I don't even give a damn if they're like newly perps. I'm gonna basically alert everybody I see about the channel, right? But the thing about that, like if they look, if either of you see this content and you message me, you try to talk to me in public, you need to understand from right now until I fully get this stuff out of my system, I cannot really allow myself in a conversation because of what I'm being, what these weapons are doing. And again, it's just a basis of fear. It's nothing but a basis of fear. Here's the current scenario right here, right? That I'm in, right? So I show my current location. I exposed all of these Wi-Fi hotspots that are just now turning on at the same time. At the same time that I'm, stationary. I showed that I'm stationary because I'm in my apartment. You could clearly see that. You could clearly tell I was in my apartment. Wasn't outside nowhere yet. You're seeing the icon thing going across literally through the building. First, I thought it was a person, but then I realized it was actually a drone. And I don't own any drones, and I have never purchased one in my entire life. At this point, like when people try even dare to try to come up with an excuse to try to discredit what I'm bringing out, I'm I'm just done. I'm just done because there's no point in even having a discussion about that. There's just none, absolutely none, because we're past the point of debate on that. We're past the point of deniability on that because I don't care how any way, shape, or form a person tries to look at that situation. It's just gonna always point back to paid opposition. That's it. I don't stand to gain anything by basically wasting my time debating uh, an obvious thing with someone who's being paid to debunk it. I don't see no point in wasting my time to even fear someone who dish out threats. Why? Simple, dude. By the time we were born, we were already laced with these damn chemtrails. I guess the chaos was on the sun. We were born just to die, man. Since basically the minute we came out the womb, we were breathing this shit, this fucked up air. But it doesn't mean it has to technically stay that way. It doesn't have to. We can basically make things right. But we're gonna have to figure something out fast. Actually, there have been people saying, "Oh, well, like it's illegal to go off grid." I don't believe that for a second. I believe they had that up when the what was that? The lockdown was initiated, but now we're seeing that they're trying to actually reenact another lockdown. If you're not aware, so that is definitely a problem, without a doubt. Was planning on staying a bit longer, but I may decide to leave after because I'm gonna get free from this bullshit soon. So I'm probably gonna end up taking off. But you see, like that's the problem. You can't do this on your own because it's a lot dangerous. And again, it's not out of fear at all. It's just that like it's just not being careless. That's what I like to call it. It's simply just not being careless because like first off, if you're gonna go off grid, it's best to have more manpower anyway because you'll be able to get stuff built a lot faster. Not to mention you'll be able to carry a lot more supplies. Not to also mention it makes for greater defense as well. So that's just the obvious. But it seems like everything that they do, from everything that they talk about, for everything that they try to trigger, it seems to always stem towards fear. All of it. Everything from what comes out of their mouth, anything they got to say, they just want to put you in a state of fear. Well, I'm here to tell you who are involved in this, who are basically responsible for this program. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not. I don't care what thug you send my way. I don't care what gang stalker you send towards me because basically it will just give me more upon more evidence. Because at this point, I mean, well, the base of operations have been exposed. So now people know exactly where this is going down. I'm not even surprised that even any perp would know because honestly, all perps know about this. All of them, by the way, because if you ever heard of the whole term the floating, the rotating box? Yeah, it turns out they got actual perps in every, they got perps in every state. So of course, they would be alerted whenever you were on the move, right? They would know. So does this mean do I give a damn? No. Look, in the end, I'm not trying to spout fear, but I'm just spouting the truth. Either end, you're gonna die regardless of anything. It's either gonna be from old age, it could be from famine, it could be from disease. Um, well, I guess since like we've already dived into that, disease is basically a bunch of bullshit, and at least the science behind it that they were providing for the public is basically turned out to be somewhat bullshit, and now we're finding the real truth behind all of that stuff, as far as like how viruses and stuff work, or it was just information that was basically just kept away from the masses from learning. So here's the thing: a lot of the medical industry information, as well as a lot of information just about everything else. Everything on the books is somewhat truthful, mixed with a lot of misinformation, and that's the problem right there. Physics and science and all that is no misconception when it comes to that. But it's just like seriously, like everything that they do is just like a desperate attempt to put you in a state of fear. And I see that the way I see it is that it's not that I should fear them, it's that they have a great reason to fear me. They have just as well as they got a great reason to fear all of you. Why? Look at how much money they are spending to survey a single person. If that's not someone who's afraid of a single person to spend billions upon billions, thousands upon thousands of dollars to have what the person surveyed, constantly, viewed wherever they go and all that stuff, just to harass their life, get involved in their life with complete strangers, have them stalk you every 24 hours a day. I mean, if that's not a sign of fear from them, I don't know what is. You see, they are so afraid of you because a single TI can, literally two TIs have the basically powerful structure when they come together. They basically put a stop to the organization just like that because they can compare evidences and basically say, well, yeah, I've been stalked by this person too. And they can show factual evidence of this. So the more and more I keep looking into it, the more and more they are afraid. And you see, they are so afraid that they go out and actually take a person out. But you see, that's no reason to still fear them. Because the more and more they do, the more and more they're just piling on the inevitable that they're basically going to be shut down for good. This doesn't just include the whole establishment that hired them. This includes the people who backed them up, the people who did the street theater. Their faces are still on film committing street theater. People are not just going to pretend that didn't happen. And the whole hacking bit just shows even more fear. It shows how much fear they have when they stoop to such low levels of behavior, to such low vibrational levels. They get off from your suffering. They get off from you feeling anguish. There's nothing to fear, though. Absolutely nothing. The only reason why they want you to fear, the only reason why they want you to fear is to keep you stuck here. When it's time to make that ascension, you can't be trapped. You can't allow yourself to be trapped in a state of fear. The inevitable is an inevitable, but it doesn't mean you have to accept accept the fascist BS that they're basically trying to push upon everybody. It is crazy how they basically say that they're anti-fascist, yet they act very fascist. It seems to be the same thing with the racism. Like they say they anti-racism, but they seem to be very racist in their own kind, in their own act, through their actions as well. And you see, they're all of them are very hypocritical, very very unstable individuals, very unstable. Not just that, but I guess you would call it pathological liars, or was it chronic liars? It's like it, it's crazy. It's just a very very insane concept, and it's like, can you imagine how much desperism that they have for you to react to the little things that they do? They wait in anticipation for you to react to a simple, even the smallest thing that they do. They are waiting and hoping to get a reaction out of you. Like literally, they are. It's like the person who sent a message and just literally have the eyes dead set on a phone screen, just sitting there, just waiting and waiting and waiting for a hopeful response. I don't respond to cowardless individuals. Whether my life ends due to old age, whether I'm murdered, I am not finna die in a state of fear. No. Hell, you could brandish a gun in my face and I still would not fear you. Why? Because when I see someone stoop that low to basically pull a firearm to someone who's, unarmed, that's a state of fear, buddy. But it's not from me. It's the person holding the gun that's afraid, because you basically need a tool just to make yourself look stronger. But in reality, you basically reveal just how weak you really are by doing so. Now, going off grid with firearms, that's not a state of fear. That is just another, that's basically, as I stated, a tool to basically use for survival. Like when you're going out hunting, when you're, you know, maybe you need a little bit of entertainment, and you basically just, set up the old target practicing range, get a little, pop off a few shots or whatever, have a little fun or whatever, maybe crack open a beer. I wish I really could drink beer, but not while I'm laced under these weapons, and definitely not beer coming from the stores, because chances are there's no telling what's in that. And fellow TIs have warned me not to drink any type of alcohol beverage while being under these effects of these directed energy weapons, because yes, they do mess with that. The only thing I could say that's probably most likely safe is red wine, since that definitely screws with the nano. But that's about all. But it's like literally everything that they do is basically a constant attempt to get you to be in a state of fear. And the thing is, even when I go out and I talk hysterical like that, right? What should I say? You see, you see, when I get like that, that's not actually me, because I'm more of a level headed, down to earth kind of guy. I don't act out like that on a normal basis. That's technically them trying to force me with these weapons to act like that. But you see, I know the real me. I've shown enough proof to back this up. Everybody, what do you think of just really think about this situation. Someone still debunks and tries to discredit you even after the UN, the United Nations, has basically classified this stuff, that it is happening, that it is existing. Now, did I not say? I'm gonna say it once more. Did I not say that anybody who goes around trying to trying to discredit any TI, it's just paid opposition? I mean, I did say that. So every time they're coming out here saying these things, I just want people to understand that there's no need to even, worry about commenting on them. Just keep promoting your content. Don't even worry about them. Just ignore them and move on. But you know what? And not to mention, because here's the problem. The whole issue with that is that they are paid opposition. And with you all seeing what they're doing with my device and stuff like that, it should be well known. You see, they'll say things like, "Oh, well, like, well, thank you for showing us where you live." That's another attack that this promote fear. Why? Because they don't want other people to do that. They don't want other TIs to do the same thing. Because what happens when we see the exact locations as to where they're targeting this individual, where they're hiding, where they're at? What happens when we basically establish a targeted individual task force and we actually go out there looking for these people as they're stationed in those areas? Has anybody thought of that? You see, two TIs are more than enough to basically, dismantle the whole thing. You got one strictly, you can have strictly, one strictly on reconnaissance, while the other one is on, basically the lookout. And not to mention, if you have four TIs together, oh, dude, that whole organization would not stand a chance as long as the TIs had the right information. They would not stand a chance at all, like none. It would be that the whole operation, that gang stalking stuff, would barely even last of even a couple minutes, because they would just be getting tons upon tons of evidence. So understand, fellow TIs out there, understand that they technically fear you, not the other way around. And what they do is basically, since they're using these weapons on you, they try to basically give you the idea that you're afraid. You're really not. You're not afraid. You're a lot more braver than you think. You just got to be able to make that one push just to see how brave you really are. Once you do that, once you make that one big push and you make it, you're good from there. There's nothing they can say to basically point you in a state of fear. The only thing that is basically promoting anything that would seem remotely anywhere near fear is the programming that they're trying to basically lace you under. And that's it. If I was afraid, I wouldn't go outside going grocery shopping, despite knowing that they are poisoning the food. If I was afraid, I wouldn't be going outside knowing that I'm being, constantly surveyed and constant setups all over the place. If I was afraid, I would not have gone out there at the store to basically warn people about what this whole plandemic is doing, and even tell them what my channel is. If I was afraid, I would not have actually handled a conversation during the McDonald's incident with the cops calmly and collectively. If I was afraid, I would have not have done any of these things. Yet I did them. Proudly, might I add. Everybody, please understand there's nothing to fear. And the one true enemy of all is fear, because it's that fear that basically lowers your restraints and puts you in a more, should I say, more compliant state. And that is what they want from you. They want you to be in a more compliant state, so they basically will be easy for them to get their way. They're baiting people even with these mysterious looking apps, not the ones that I advertised, but the some of these other apps where they're basically are offering you money to get your GPS locations and all that as you move out and about. That type of thing is a problem, because that's basically feeding into those into their data bank. Now for TIs, they will just hack your equipment and just take the damn shit even without your consent. But at the same time, as you see here, they're basically showing themselves. Again, when they wear red, that's a sign that they're afraid. I'm not afraid, but they are. Why? Because they gotta send people out there saying, "Oh, well, like you're a sacrifice." This. And if people didn't know about the gang stalking thing, that's a symbolization for sacrifice when they wear red all the time. When they wear blue, that's a symbolization for war. Dude, I never asked to be a part of no fucking war, but I'm not gonna allow people to be tortured. Period. It's just as simple as that. And I never accepted being a sacrifice to anybody. So whatever like satanic bullshit they're into, yeah, no, I'm not interested in even joining your fucked up cult. Not interested in aiding in it. Not interested in being in the sacrifice. None of that shit, whether you like it or not. All I know is I'm doing the best I can to help as many individuals out here while my days are, while I'm still here. But once my time is done, I mean, that's it. I can only hope people just use the information as best they can to help many, many others. And I guess that's pretty much it. Normally I would have done a live stream, but they weren't having that. Clearly they were intimidated quite a lot, by the way, of the information I found out today. Definitely satisfied about all of that. I'm definitely am. But I just don't see a point to fear these people, man. I just don't see it. I just don't. Literally no reason, man. It's just none. Because the whole concept of their whole operations is to incite fear. Therefore, they show their weakness. The whole point is to basically survey me, put me in an unstable state, try and then use a gaslighting attempt to basically set me up, and then have that setup to basically, either get me institutionalized, get me locked up, anything that they can possibly think of. And that's pretty much it. And here's the thing: for all TIs, the shadow government knows where our current location is, and that's why I don't give a damn what showing my location on the freaking YouTube. Why? Because people who want to put a stop to this see that too. They see where I'm at, so I'm already know. Just like I said, when that vape trail hit, if I had a heart attack, well, it's just attempted murder. Whether it happens or not, I mean, it happens. But at least I want people to be aware. And that's the point. So that they don't fall victim to this shit and they can basically put a stop to it. And you see what they're doing, like how they are just listing every death regardless of the reason as COVID, right? You see that they're doing that. Why? Because they basically want their stuff to be underhanded. Hence why they're trying to get rid of paper money. They want money to be digitalized. And people, I'm sorry, but people, well, actually, no, I'm not even sorry because this is actually true. People who are supporting crypto are a part of the problem of that. Even as I speak right now, I'm being radiated. Like, no, you must be in a state of fear. You must be in a state of fear. You shall fear us. You shall fear us. And, oh, man, seriously, just like all these attempts, it's just I don't know how more obvious it can get than this. I mean, they use these weapons to do what? Lower my body's capability so I can't defend myself in a fight. Wouldn't you call that a state of fear? They couldn't trust in that guy's own, they wouldn't let that guy trust in his own abilities to fight it out, on a regular basis. So they had to beam me the fuck down. Yeah, even though I got assaulted, I still kept her from running off with the phone. These are cowards, man. They're cowards behind technology that's being used for terrorism. That's as best as I could tell everybody, That's just it. That's just it. And you see, they use technology, you see, the whole problem is that the phone it is part of the problem. It really is. But you see, we use the phone for communications, right? And it makes communications rather easy. But you see, they still use the phone as means to control you when they mess with it, when they prevent you from using it. The point is, when they play their games, I just go my own direction. I don't play the game. I don't waste my time. Because wasting my time means I'm buying into their control mechanism. When I don't buy into the control mechanism, I just go about my day, they have no control. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what pisses them off the most. Understand they are trained not to show emotion, but they can be just as pissed off as anybody else. Hence, when I basically went to the store, today to basically alert everybody about the channel. I didn't give a damn whether they're perp or not. Just as long as they knew, and as long as you've been warned. So if you continue buying into this bullshit at this point, you're just basically be labeling yourself as part of the problem. And I even told them, go ahead and share that, show it to a friend, share that information as best you can. All the information you could possibly need to prove this bullshit exists is there. When they send people to discredit certain content, they're doing that in means to basically continue to blind people. They try to basically put lies and try to claim that those lies are factual evidence, when in reality, it's nothing more than just paid opposition that's just basically pushing for all of this bullshit. What's going to happen is that people are going to basically tell people like that to basically go fuck themselves. And I don't mean that in any, disrespect. I'm just saying that's precisely what they're gonna do. They're literally gonna tell that because like we're not gonna accept your lies. We're not gonna, just acknowledge your unnecessary shit because first off, you lied. You lied to the people. You lied. You manipulated everybody, and you used them for your own damn selfish benefits. You didn't give a damn about people. You didn't give a damn about their kids. You didn't give a damn about their future kids. Now, when a person basically sells their soul into this beast system like this, when they do that, they basically are denying freedom to both their own children and their children's children. That's what that is. Meaning you're denying them a proper freedom of life as they grow up. You just basically orchestrating a situation to where, oh, it turns out a boy can't even grow up to just be a man. No, he's got to basically grow up to be, either a trans or just dress up in dresses and shit, man. When I first saw that crap, when they were basically there was like some some videos where they were basically had it to where like these trans were basically trying to just cause all this confusion with these underage kids, and I'm like, just no. Just no, man. I don't care if a person is a trans. I don't care if a person is gay. Look, I don't want any. All I say is don't enforce your shit on somebody else. Don't do that. That's all I am asking. Keep that shit to yourself. But now we're in times to where they don't want to keep shit to themselves. They want to basically convert everybody into what they are, even if that means using DEWs, direct energy weapons. It's no stop to it. You can always show as much factual evidence, undeniable evidence. What do? This isn't true. This isn't true. This isn't real. This isn't happening. Paid opposition is not meant to basically be taken seriously, man. Because in the end, there's no point in debating with them. If they start putting out bullshit, then just put out the truth. If people don't want to watch it, they don't want to watch it, and probably they may be a part of the problem too. But the fact is that you did your part in sharing that information to basically expose their lies. That is what's important. Man, I could already tell you that they're just beyond insane. But at this point, like everything they do is gonna be documented. It's gonna have to be everything, because that's what's gonna be all the information. You see, the main people who matters, the main people who I consider that matters to see all of this evidence and all of this beneficial information. It's not just TIs, but also random citizens too. Showing the police are involved in this bullshit. They're part of the problem. Showing the government, please. The government's part of the problem, especially with this bullshit going around. So it's no different, man. It's not that much of a difference. I'm not finna waste my time getting bent out of a shape for some paid off idiot. I'm not doing that. No, and I'm not finna be in a state of fear for any of that. If I die, I die. If I live, I live. It makes no damn difference to me, just as long as I can fucking help as many people out as I possibly can. That is it. Am I gonna be afraid of these assholes? No. Why? Because I fail to see the reason to fear them. Why should I fear anybody who has to basically put that much fucking effort to get them to be feared? It just means that maybe they just weren't never meant, maybe they just weren't all that scary. I'll tell you one thing that is scary, though, most of all, their stupidity. That's the most scariest thing of all, because when you see that shit, it makes you really question your reality. Like, what the hell is this? I could go on even farther, but it's getting late, everybody. I pray that you all have a safe evening. Definitely utilize that information to basically get documentation of your own targeting. And again, to any perps that I may warrant, understand that I will not conversate with you in public. I will not conversate with you at all. Why? Because of me being laced with these weapons. And I do mean people, because there are people who are forced into this program. I'm speaking directly to them who are not comfortable with doing this. Understand, at this point, my channel has information linked to both how to detox this stuff out of your systems to get it removed completely to where you're cutting off their connections, as well as information to basically track down these hackers, these gang stalkers, these perps, these handlers, and these satellite operators who are utilizing and using the directed energy torture. Understand this stuff is now existent. This is stuff that's all on the channel. You can basically check out for yourself. So you being in a state of fear, you're basically doing nothing but beating and defeating yourself down. There's no reason to fear them anymore. There's no reason to fear them no more, okay? No reason. Don't buy into the bullshit. Do the research yourself. Utilize the links that I provided to basically, basically give off your own analysis of the situation. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Stay safe. Stay strong, everyone.